Hello everyone. Today we'll be learning the subtraction of the vectors. So as usual, take out your notebook and pen and start making your notes. Suppose we have two vectors, namely a vector and b vector, and we want to subtract this b vector from the a vector. Basically, we want to do this operation a vector minus b vector. Okay. For doing this operation, there is a nice way you can add the minus b vector with the a vector. Do you agree? It means subtraction of the vectors is very easy thing if you know the addition of two vectors. To subtract the b vector from the a vector, you actually need to add the minus b vector with the a vector. Getting it? Let's derive some important things. For derivation purpose, if this is the a vector and we need the minus b vector, so the direction will get reversed. Here will be the minus b vector. Do you agree? Okay. Angle between a vector and b vector was theta. This angle was theta. It means the angle between a vector and minus b vector will be 180 degree minus theta. Their resultant vector will be lying somewhere in between them. We will call it r vector, and r vector is a vector plus of minus b vector, or technically we can write it as a vector minus b vector. Its magnitude can be obtained using this formula: r is equal to root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos of, this angle will be useful for us, 180 degree minus theta. Okay, this r can be written as mod of a vector minus b vector. Now let us simplify. Cos of 180 degree minus theta from trigonometry, do you remember that? Speak up. How much is this data? It is equal to minus cos theta. Submitting that data here. Here what is theta? Theta is the angle between a vector and b vector. So we'll be using this formula in the calculations. You can note it down up to here. It's basically the vector addition only. We are adding a negative vector with the given vector. That's it. Here are the important points. Number one, the vector subtraction is non-commutative. What does it mean? A vector minus b vector and b vector minus a vector, they are unequal. Okay, let us prove it. Suppose we have a vector is equal to 3i cap plus 2j cap, and we have the b vector is equal to 5i cap minus 7j cap, let's say. Now if we obtain a vector minus b vector, what we will get? 3i cap minus 5i cap, the answer will be minus 2i cap, 2j cap and minus of minus 7j cap, answer will be plus 9j cap. Do you agree? Now instead of this, you try to obtain b vector minus a vector. B vector minus a vector means 5i cap minus 3i cap, so it will be 2i cap, and minus 7j cap minus of 2j cap, it means minus 9j cap. Check yourself. A vector minus b vector and b vector minus a vector, they are unequal. Getting it? Actually, you can say one thing, that a vector minus b vector is technically equal to what? Minus of b vector minus a vector. You can verify it yourself looking at these results. Done? Note it down. Then we'll be taking point number 2. Second point, the subtraction of the vectors is non-associative. It means A vector minus B vector minus C vector and A vector minus B vector minus C vector, they are actually unequal. As we took the examples in the previous case, this I am leaving to you. Assume something as A vector, then B vector, then C vector, and operate this part as well as this one. You'll come to know that actually they are unequal. Getting it? Note it down. Then we'll be taking up point number 3. Here is the third important point. If mod of A vector minus B vector is equal to the mod of A vector plus B vector, then the angle between A vector and B vector is 90 degree. Let's prove it. According to the given data, mod of A vector minus B vector is equal to the mod of A vector plus B vector. We know their formulas. LHS can be written as A square plus B square minus 2AB cos theta, and the RHS can be written as, speak up, A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Here what is theta? Theta is the angle between A vector and B vector. Now simplifying this, you can write this as A square plus B square minus 2AB cos theta is equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta by squaring both sides. This A square B square is getting cancelled out. We are left with 4AB cos theta is equal to 0. Here we are assuming that the magnitude of the vector A is not equal to 0. The magnitude of vector B is not equal to 0. A and B are non-zero vectors. It means which term must be 0? Cos theta must be 0. If cos theta is 0, it clearly indicates that theta must be 90 degree. It means the A vector and B vector are perpendicular if they satisfy this condition. Okay. Then can you tell me how much will be the angle between A vector and minus B vector? Post your answer in comment box. Correct. The angle between A vector and B vector is also 90 degree, as well as the angle between A vector and minus B vector is also 90 degree. Okay. Note it down. Then we'll be taking up fourth point. Here is the fourth important point. If the magnitude of A vector and B vector is equal, then the mod of A vector minus B vector is equal to 2A sin theta by 2. We can prove it simply. Let's see it here. According to the derivation, mod of A vector minus B vector, we already remember, is equal to what? Root of A square plus B square minus 2AB cos theta. Here what is theta? Theta is the angle between A vector and B vector. Okay. Let's proceed further. According to the given question, the mod of A vector is equal to the mod of B vector. It means at the place of A, you can submit B or vice versa. So I am doing that computation here. A square, at the place of B, I am again submitting A. So A square minus 2AA cos theta. Fine. From this computation, I am taking 2A square common. This is 2A square as well as this is also 2A square. So take 2A square common here, then here we are left with 1 and here we are left with a cos theta with a negative sign. Okay. 1 minus cos theta is equivalent to what? Do you remember? something from trigonometry. 1 minus cos theta is equal to, speak up, 2 sine square theta by 2. Submitting that value here, 2a square into, at the place of 1 minus cos theta, we can actually put 2 sine square theta by 2. So the final remaining result will be equal to 2a sine theta by 2. Okay, this is mod of a vector minus b vector. See one interesting thing, it's given in the statement that magnitude of a vector and b vector are equal. It means at the place of a you can bring b. So this can be written as 2b sine theta by 2 also. This is an important result. You should learn it. Fine. Note it down. Then we'll be taking up point number 5. Here is the fifth point. If the difference of two unit vectors is also a unit vector, then the angle between those two unit vectors is 60 degree, or vice versa. If the angle between two unit vectors is 60 degree, then their difference will also result into a unit vector. Derivation is pretty simple. I am doing the calculations here. Suppose a cap is a unit vector, b cap is also a unit vector, and we are considering their difference. This difference also results into a unit vector. Then we have to prove that theta, means the angle between a cap and b cap, will be 60 degree. Let's start the calculation. I am taking modulus both sides. For this we know the formula. It will be root of 1 square plus 1 square minus 2 into 1 into 1 cos theta. You understand why we are doing this? Because we know that mod of a vector minus b vector was equal to what? Root of a square plus b square minus 2ab cos theta. Okay, and since here we are using the unit vectors, unit vector means the magnitude of a cap is 1 as well as the magnitude of b cap is also 1. So what I am doing, we are using the unit vectors here, and the magnitude of the first vector is 1. The magnitude of the second vector is also 1. By putting these values, you will obtain this. Now you square both sides, then you are left with 2 minus 2 cos theta is equal to 1. This 2 I am shifting here to RHS. Minus 2 cos theta is equal to 1 minus 2. Minus 2 cos theta is equal to minus 1, or the cos theta is equal to 1 by 2. Here is the result. The theta will be equal to 60 degree. Getting it? And we should always keep in mind that theta is the angle between, speak up, what? A vector and b vector. Why I am emphasizing on this again and again? Because students usually do mistake in these calculations. So I am emphasizing, okay? You can note it down, and then we'll be taking up few important questions. Here is the question. We have few forces, namely F1 vector, F2 vector, F3 vector and F4 vector, and they all have the same magnitude and directions are as shown in the board. Okay, now we need to solve these 4 parts. It's simple thing. Let's start the solution. This I am solving, and then I'll give you a few questions for your homework. Mod of F1 vector minus F2 vector. To simplify this first part, we'll write the data like this. Root of F1 square plus F2 square minus 2 f1 f2 cos theta. Here what is theta? Angle between which two vectors? Speak up or write in the comment box. Theta is the angle between f1 vector and f2 vector, or angle between f1 vector and minus f2 vector? Correct. Theta is the angle between f1 vector and f2 vector. Angle between f1 vector and f2 vector, is it clearly visible to us? 60 degree. Why? The tails of f1 vector and f2 vector, they are meeting here at the origin. Both the tails are meeting and this angle will be considering. So now I am putting up the values. Since it's a force, the unit will come out to be Newton, and now I should write here 5 square plus 5 square minus 2 into 5 cos of 60 degree. Is it okay? Fine. Remaining calculation I am leaving to you. You can do it. Taking up the second part. Now we need mod of f2 vector minus f3 vector. Now you can pause the video and you can give it a try if you wish. Putting up the data here, f2 square plus f3 square minus 2 f2 f3 cos theta. Can you tell me the value of theta? Angle between the f2 vector and f3 vector. This is f2 vector and this is your f3 vector. How much is the angle in between them? Post your answer in comment box. In order to obtain the angle between f2 vector and f3 vector, actually we need to shift that f3 vector here. From this location you bring it here. This angle is 30 degree and this angle is also 30 degree. Now here the tail of f3 vector as well as the tail of f2 vector will meet, and then we'll be considering this angle. Getting my point? It's pretty important part. So put up the magnitude, 5 square 2 into 5 cos. What is the angle for this computation? 60 degree, and the unit of the force will be Newton. Getting it? How many of you thought it correct? Very good. If you thought it correct, you should appreciate yourself. And if that was incorrect, no issue. Try to learn whenever we need to find the angle between two vectors. Either their tails must meet at a common point or their heads must meet. Here is already the tail of the f2 vector. What I did, I shifted the entire f3 vector here. So this tail of f3 vector approached here. Getting it? Computation you can do. I am going for the third calculation. Mod of f3 vector minus f1 vector. Same way, we'll put up the data, f3 square plus f1 square minus 2 f1 f3 cos of theta. What is the angle between f3 vector and f1 vector? Give it a try. Here is the tail of f3 vector. We have shifted the entire f3 vector here. So this is the tail of f3 vector, and here is the tail of f1 vector. Both the tails are meeting. It means you need this angle, this one. How much is this angle? 120 degree. Few smart students can directly write the answer now. I am although simplifying everything. 5 square plus 5 square minus 2 into 5 cos of 120 degree, and the unit of the force is Newton. Now you can simplify this part and then post your answer in comment box. Clear? Taking up the fourth part, f1 vector minus f4 vector, and then there is modulus. It should be equal to the root of, I am writing the data here directly, 5 square plus 5 square minus 2 into 5 cos of 90 degree, and the unit of force will be Newton. I hope you understand this directly, because the f1 vector and f4 vector, their tails are meeting here at the origin. Getting it? and angle between them is considered as 90 degree. Now you will put up all the values and you will simplify them. What is your homework in this question? You can generate few more questions. There are more possibilities in this diagram. You generate those questions yourself, simplify them, and then post your answer in the comment box. How you will generate the questions? Such as, suppose you want to generate the fifth question here. You can take some possibility which has not been taken, such as mod of f4 vector minus f2 vector. This is a possibility which we have not considered here. In same way, you can generate few more possibilities. Mod of f4 vector minus f3 vector. So on. You will generate few more questions, whatever is possible in this diagram, and you try to simplify them yourself. Done? Note it down and fire up the chat box if you have any doubt. Here is the second question. If mod of a cap plus b cap is equal to the mod of a cap minus b cap, then we need to find the angle between a vector and b vector. It's a pretty simple question. If you remember the important points, you can immediately answer it. Correct. What should be the answer? The answer for this question will be 90 degree. The a vector and b vector will be perpendicular. Actually, this question can be asked like as find the angle between a cap and b cap. That answer will also be 90 degree because the a cap will be in the same direction as of the a vector. Similarly, b cap will be in the same direction as of the b vector. Okay. Now, I am starting the solution part here. Mod of a cap plus b cap. You remember what we should write this? 1 square plus 1 square, because these are unit vectors, their magnitude will be 1, plus 2 into 1 into 1 cos theta is equal to mod of a cap minus b cap. It should be written as 1 square plus 1 square, and here will be a negative sign. 2 into 1 into 1 cos theta. Done. Square both sides and simplify the things. This is 2 plus 2 cos theta, and here we have 2 minus 2 cos theta. This 2 is getting nullified, so we are left with 4 cos theta is equal to 0. It means the cos theta must be 0 because 4 is not equal to 0. Therefore, the theta should be equal to 90 degree. The a vector and b vector are perpendicular, as well as the a cap and b cap are also perpendicular. Getting it? Note it down. Then we'll take up question number 3. It's a simple one. If mod of a cap minus b cap is equal to root 2, then we need to find the value of mod of a cap plus root 3 b cap. You can pause here and give it a try yourself. It's a simple one. I'm starting the solution here. We are given that mod of a cap minus b cap is equal to root 2. Mod of a cap minus b cap can be written as 1 square plus 1 square minus 2 into 1 into 1 cos theta is equal to root 2. Getting it? Squaring both sides, since these were unit vectors, so I have taken here 1 1. Okay, when you square both sides, here is 2 minus 2 cos theta is equal to 2. So this 2 and 2 is getting nullified. It means that cos theta is equal to 0. Therefore, the theta must be 90 degree. It means that if a cap is in this direction, the b cap must be perpendicular. Getting it? Now, starting this part, we need the value of mod of a cap plus root 3 b cap. A cap is in this direction Where will be the root 3 b cap? Anyone can tell root 3 b cap will be perpendicular to the a cap. Getting it? Put up the values. Root of the magnitude of the first vector is 1. The magnitude of the next vector is root 3 into 1. The b cap will have the magnitude 1, but here is a root 3 in the multiplication. Plus 2 into 2 into root 3 into 1 cos of 90 degree. Is it okay? Simplifying it further, root of 1 plus 3 plus 0, because the cos 90 degree will become 0. So root 4 will result into 2. This is the answer. Note it down, then we'll be taking up the next question. Here is the fourth question. If the magnitude of the sum of two unit vectors is root 2, then we need to find the magnitude of the subtraction of these two unit vectors. It's a simple formula based question. You can pause here and you can give it a try. I'm solving the things on the board. Suppose we imagine two unit vectors, a cap and b cap. We sum them up, so there is a addition sign here, and we need its magnitude, which is equal to root 2. Do you agree with this language? Okay. Now let us simplify this. It is root of 1 square plus 1 square plus 2 into 1 cos of theta is equal to root 2. Squaring both sides, we are left with 2 plus 2 cos theta is equal to 2. If you remember, earlier we have seen that calculation. The cos theta comes out to be 0. Therefore, theta should be 90 degree. If theta is 90 degree, then mod of a cap plus b cap and mod of a cap minus b cap, they are actually equal. So directly I can write the result here. Mod a cap minus b cap must come out to be root 2. That should be the final answer. But if you wish, I can prove it also. Let's see that here. We need the mod of a cap minus b cap. This will be equal to what? Speak up. Root of 1 square plus 1 square, because it's a unit vector, magnitude is 1. It's also a unit vector, magnitude is 1. Minus sign, this is important because here is the subtraction. 2 into 1 cos of 90 degree. Cos 90 degree, everyone knows, will become 0. So you are left with what? Root 2. Okay, simple one. Note it down. Then we'll be taking up question number 5. Here is question number 5. If two forces are acting in the anti-parallel direction, then the resultant has a magnitude of 10 Newton. And if these two forces are acting perpendicular to each other, then the resultant has a magnitude of 50 Newton. We need to find the magnitude of these two forces. It's a simple one. Actually, if you look at the numbers carefully, you can think directly about the answer. Pause the video here and put your brain at work. Try to obtain the answer yourself. Okay, I hope you are done with the things. I'm simplifying it here. According to the question, let's say this is the force F1 vector and another force is F2 vector. If they are anti-parallel, then the resultant force has a magnitude of 10 Newton in this direction. Do you get this? The second case, if these forces are acting perpendicular like this, then the resultant force has a magnitude of 50 Newton. So I think calculation part is pretty simple. In this case, the 10 Newton should be technically equal to what? F1 minus F2. Call it equation number 1. In this case, the 50 Newton should be equal to what? Two vectors are perpendicular, then the resultant has the magnitude root of F1 square plus F2 square. Call it equation number 2. Now the calculation is pretty simple. You have two unknown, F1 and F2, and we have two equations, so it can be solved. I am leaving that to you. Solve the equation number 1 and 2 and get the values of F1 and F2. Although few smart students can think the values using the Pythagorean triples. When you simplify, the F1 will come out to be 40 Newton and F2 will be 30 Newton. Actually, it's a Pythagorean triple. Check these numbers. 30, 40, 50. Okay. Note it down. Then we'll be taking up a very interesting question. Here is the next question. It's an important one. A particle is moving over the circle with the constant speed v. When it covers an angle theta as shown in the diagram, we need to find the magnitude of the change in velocity. Okay, it's pretty important question. Pause the video here and read the question carefully, then we'll proceed for the solution. Let us start the solution part here. Question is asking us the magnitude of change in velocity. So mathematically, how we are writing that? Change in velocity means v final minus v initial. In physics, whenever there is a term change in some parameter, that change will always be the final parameter minus the initial parameter. And then you need magnitude of this. Magnitude of this means you need to put the modulus. Do you agree? Now, using the law of subtraction of the two vectors, we know how to simplify this thing. Mod of v final minus v initial can be written equal to root of v final square plus v initial square minus 2v final v initial cos of theta. Okay, here what is theta? Theta is the angle between the final velocity vector and the initial velocity vector. How these two vectors have the angle theta? I am explaining it here. Suppose this is the final and this is the initial. The angle between these two blue lines is theta. Then angle between the red lines will also be theta. Why? There is a nice statement in mathematics. The angle between two lines and the angle between their corresponding normals or perpendiculars is always same or equal. Why? Let's check it here. Suppose these are two lines. What is angle between them? 0 degree. They are parallel. The normal or perpendicular to the first line is like this, and the normal or perpendicular to the second line is like this. What is the angle between these two normals? That is also 0. Getting my point? If the angle between two straight lines is theta, then angle between their corresponding perpendiculars will also be theta. So here we have these two straight lines and angle between them is theta. Perpendicular to the first straight line is this and the perpendicular to the second straight line is this. So angle between these two red lines will also be theta. That's why we are using here theta. Now we can put up the magnitudes. The final velocity has the magnitude v only, because according to the language of the question, particle is moving over the circle with the constant speed. So v square plus v square minus 2vv cos theta. Okay, this is 2v square, this is also 2v square cos theta. So we are left with 2v square here, bracket 1 minus cos theta. Actually we have taken 2v square common. In trigonometry, we have many times utilized that value. 1 minus cos theta is equal to what? 2 sine square theta by 2. So submitting the value here, 2v square is getting multiplied with 2v sine theta by 2. And we can simplify it further. We'll get super important result, 2v sine theta by 2. This can be written as del v vector and then modulus. And how you will pronounce it? The magnitude of the change in velocity. That change in velocity is reflected like this. Okay? You can verify it yourself. Suppose at t is equal to 0, the particle is here. Then its velocity vector is vertically upwards like this. Now, particle covers one complete cycle. Then in one complete cycle, how much angle the particle will be covering? 360 degree. Put here 360 degree. 360 degree divided by 2 means 180 degree. Sine 180 degree will become 0. It means the magnitude of change in velocity will become 0. And that is actually happening. After one complete cycle, the particle will be here only. And then initial velocity vector and the final velocity vector, they are in the same direction. Getting it? Now, suppose in such question someone gives you theta equal to 30 degree, theta is equal to 45 degree. You can just put up the value of theta here and obtain your answer. It's pretty important question. I recommend you to learn the result directly for such a case. Okay, note it down. Here is the last question of this video and then you'll get a checkpoint and the answers. If the sum of two unit vectors is also a unit vector, then you need to find the magnitude of the difference of these unit vectors. Getting the question? You can pause the video here and give it a try yourself and then match your answer with the video. Solution is pretty simple. You need to write the statement mathematically. Sum of two unit vectors, a cap is a unit vector, b cap is a unit vector. You do their sum and then you need to take their magnitude. Getting it? Is equal to magnitude of c cap. We can simplify this very easily. Root of 1 square plus 1 square plus 2 into 1 into 1 cos of theta. Theta is the angle between a cap and b cap. C cap is a unit vector, so its magnitude will be 1. Squaring both sides, you are left with 2 plus 2 cos theta is equal to 1. So 2 cos theta is equal to minus 1. We have shifted that 2 here. Cos theta comes out to be minus 1 by 2. Therefore, theta should be equal to what? 120 degree. Question is asking us mod of a cap minus b cap, the magnitude of their difference. Mod of a cap minus b cap, we know that root of 1 square, because it's a unit vector, so magnitude is 1. This is also a unit vector, so magnitude is 1. Then there is a negative sign because of this formula. 2 into 1 into 1 cos of 120 degree. We already know the value of cos 120 degree. Put that value here. 2 minus 2 into minus 1 by 2. On simplifying, this comes out to be root 3. That is the final answer. So you can note it down and then on the next screen you'll get a checkpoint. Okay, stay awesome, take care.